The NBA is a league defined by its stars, and in today's game, there is no brighter star at shooting guard than Shai Gilgeous-alexander, a player who has risen from an overlooked prospect to a full-fledged MVP candidate. SGA stands as the NBA's premier all-around wing, a master of efficiency, footwork, lockdown defense, and scoring artistry. He doesn't dominate the game with brute strength or sheer force of will. He isn't spamming deep threes from the logo every chance he gets. Instead, he breaks opponents down in isolation with superior skill, patience, and an offensive bag that's as deep as anyone's in the league today. Every move he makes is calculated, every shot precise. He's a technician in the art of scoring, a master at controlling pace, an unselfish team leader, and a player who has reshaped what it means to be an elite guard in today's NBA. These are the skills of Shai Gilgeous-alexander. Explained. SGA began his NBA journey with somewhat of an understated start. Drafted 11th overall by the Charlotte Hornets in 2018, he never even had the chance to wear their jersey. On draft night, he was sent to the Los Angeles Clippers, in a move that, at the time, barely made headlines. As a rookie, he showed some promise, but his 10.8 points per game didn't hint at the player he would soon become. The Clippers saw promise in their rookie, but not enough to outweigh the allure of acquiring established talent to win now. Just 1 year later, they sent young Shai to the Oklahoma City Thunder in a blockbuster trade for Paul George, a move designed to secure the Clippers' immediate future. At the time, the deal was all about the draft picks. SGA was seen as just another asset, one piece in OKC's long-term rebuild. But what no one realized back then was that he wasn't just a piece, he was the piece. Because as the seasons passed, that quiet, overlooked prospect blossomed into something special. His scoring would jump from 10 points per game to 19 in his first season with the Thunder, to an amazing 31 points per game within the next 3 years. SGA's scoring evolution and growth has been nothing short of spectacular. Since 2022, no player has scored more total points than him in the entire league. And what makes him even more special is how exactly he gets those countless buckets. Shai's NBA success isn't just about talent. It's about his meticulous preparation and an obsessive attention to detail. Before every game, his warm-up is more than routine. It's methodical. He starts at the rim, fine-tuning his touch inside with soft and controlled finishes. Each roll of the ball off his fingertips is measured for a purpose. Then, he takes a step back, then another, slowly extending his range. Mid-range jumpers come next, which Shai will take from every angle and spot on the floor where defenders will try and force him. This is the art of the in-between game, a skill so many players neglect in the modern NBA. And then he steps beyond the arc, the deepest range, repeating the same methodical process, ensuring every motion is fluid and every release is crisp. But once he reaches this furthest point, he doesn't just stop. Shai will then repeat this process, but backwards, retracing his steps, shot by shot, reinforcing every action to his muscle memory, and every move he'll make come game time. By the time the game actually starts, SGA has already seen it all play out in his mind. And the result? In 2025, Shai's shot chart tells the story of a player who can score from almost anywhere on the floor. But he's not just taking those shots, he's making them. Defenders can't afford to sag off, but they can't overcommit either. Shai Gilgeous-alexander is one of the most complete scorers in the NBA, and he does it in a way that few others can replicate from all three levels. It all starts like his pre-game warm-ups, with his exceptional finishing around the rim. SGA is one of the best finishers in basketball. He is fearless in the paint, using elite balance, footwork, and touch to finish over defenders. His control of the ball around the rim is masterful, whether it's a smooth finger roll, a crafty scoop shot, or a perfectly timed floater. Shai makes it look effortless. And when he's challenged by defenders inside, he absorbs contact, plays through it, and will typically get the and one to go with it. which leads right into his excellent consistency at the charity stripe. Shai gets to the line a lot. Since the 2020 to 2021 season, Gilgeous-Alexander has attempted the most free throws per game by a guard. And while some critics complain about it, the reality is simple. Do not foul SGA because he will make you pay. Shai has made roughly 90% of his free throws when stepping to the line in the last 3 seasons, turning every trip the defense gives him into a near-guaranteed 2 points for OKC. In an era dominated by volume 3-point shooting, SGA has turned the mid-range into his personal playground. As a rookie in LA, he was encouraged to shoot these in-between shots from coaches like Sam Cassell, a mid-range marksman in his own right. Later, he played a season alongside the point god, Chris Paul, a player who has built a future Hall of Fame career, thanks in part to mastering the elbow jumper. Shai took those lessons in and perfected the mid-range game. His ability to stop on a dime, rise up, and hit fadeaways or pull-ups from these forgotten areas of the court is part of what makes him nearly impossible to stop or even contain. In the 2023 to 2024 season, SGA was absolutely lethal, shooting from 10 to 16 feet, making an NBA record 53% from that distance. That's better than any season from mid-range maestros like KD, Dirk, DeMar DeRozan, or even Michael Jordan. Shai might not be known for launching deep threes like Steph Curry or Damian Lillard, but make no mistake, he is far from a liability from beyond the arc. In 2025, he's shooting a very respectable 37% from three-point range and knocking down over 2 threes per game. Let's put that into perspective. That's actually a better three-point percentage than the legendary Kobe Bryant posted in most of his 20 NBA seasons, and few would ever call the Black Mamba a poor three-point shooter. This efficiency forces defenses to respect Shai's range. His three-point shot isn't his main weapon, but it's certainly sharp enough to keep defenders honest, opening the floor for the rest of his unstoppable game. As SGA himself has said, "I'm out there taking what they give me, going to the direction they force me, taking the play in front of me, just going with the flow of the game." That free-mindedness, that ability to adapt, react, and execute night in and night out is what makes him so special. Shai never wastes dribbles. His ball control is top-notch, and his footwork is some of the best we've ever seen at his position, and possibly the best of any guard today. Shai's spin moves are a work of art, blazing fast yet perfectly balanced. Defenders think they have him contained, only to find themselves a step behind, watching as he glides to the rim. And when they try to cut him off, he'll unleash an array of up and unders, hesitation moves, or dream shakes, creating space where there seemingly was none. He is the master of isolation in today's NBA. But his deadliest weapon? His ability to stop on a dime. Very few players in NBA history can decelerate the way SGA does. 1 second, he's attacking full speed. The next, he's frozen, rising up for a mid-range jumper, or slipping through the defense for an effortless finish while his defender is still flying past him. It's not just skill, it's control. SGA isn't just a scorer, he's an efficient scorer. He doesn't just put up big numbers, he does it in the most efficient way possible. In fact, he already holds the record for the most seasons averaging 30 or more points per game, while shooting over 50% from the field and 85% from the free throw line, surpassing none other than Michael Jordan himself. That's not just impressive, that's historic. But out of all of SGA's elite skills in his arsenal, his most impressive has to be his insane level of consistency. In 2025, he joined an exclusive club, becoming only the 7th player in NBA history to score 20 or more points in 60 consecutive games. And that streak is actually still alive. So Shai does have the chance to become the first player in over 60 years to extend that scoring streak to a ridiculous 70 games before the season is through. Night after night, against any opponent, against any defense, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander delivers. But let's be clear, Shai's meteoric rise to elite status isn't solely built on his offensive firepower. He's one of the best two-way players in the game today, a player who greatly impacts the game on both ends of the court for the Thunder, and that cannot be ignored. SGA's instincts and quick hands make him one of the league's best pickpockets. He reads passing lanes like a seasoned veteran, disrupting plays and forcing turnovers at an extraordinary rate. In fact, he's one of only 8 players in NBA history to average at least 30 points and 2 steals per game in a season, something he accomplished in 2024. His defensive timing is exceptional for blocking shots. Of players under 6 feet 6 inches tall, he's one of only 10 in the history of the league to average over 1 block per game in multiple seasons. For a guard, a player who can steal the basketball and block shots like Shai comes around once in a generation, from MJ to D-Wade, and now, Shai Gilgeous-alexander. SGA has also developed into a tremendous leader for an incredibly young Oklahoma City Thunder squad. When it comes to leadership style, Shai is all about humility and a team-first mindset. After games, he never does interviews alone. He brings his teammates with him, sharing the spotlight with the guys who go to battle alongside him. Shai understands that basketball is very much about the relationships he develops with the guys in the locker room, and he values his teammates' success and winning above his own accolades. Shai Gilgeous-alexander is the perfect blend of old-school fundamentals and new-school flair. He has the highlights, the craft, the efficiency, and the leadership to define the next generation of scoring guards. At just 26 years old, his prime is only beginning, and as the NBA moves forward, SGA will be one of the players leading the charge.